Hey, everybody, welcome back to Morning Talk with Mike. I got it right this time. And I don't know if we're going to have a lot of people in here this morning. We had other plans going on today. We were supposed to be at the hospital. Terrie was supposed to have surgery this morning, but she did put out a post on this, but in case you missed that,
in case you missed that, the admin fucked up.
Yeah. At about 11:15 in the morning on Friday, we were going to the Homesteaders Rendezvous in McAlester, Oklahoma. Oh, by the way, we put up a video about that on Sunday, so please go and check that out. So she got a message from the hospital saying, hey, from billing, saying, hey, your claim for your surgery was denied by your insurance company. So, of course, Terrie, she's going, what? And so she tried to call the doctor's office. So on Friday, her doctor, it's like an admin day for them, and it's 8 o'clock in the morning till noon. So she got on the phone right at 11:15, 11:14, and she tried to get a hold of him. Of course, it went to a thing that says, your call is very important to us. Somebody will be with you in a minute. Well, that went on for 20 something minutes. And she goes, so should I call back again? I said, yeah. So she called back again, and she stayed on the line till 12 o'clock, at which time the answering machine says, oh, our office hours are 8 o'clock in the morning on Fridays till noon. So she couldn't get a hold of nobody. So she calls the hospital. She calls billing, and billing says, hey, you're going to want to talk to the surgical clinic, yada, yada, yada. So she talked to them and told them, talked to another lady, told her, blah, blah, blah. We came back to the house, and we got on the phone with our insurance company that we pay money to for just this purpose. And the insurance company says, well, we don't see, or the lady says, we don't see anything, but you might want to go onto your account and check what you see on that end. So she wasn't no help at that point. So we went on there, and I went on my account. I don't see nothing. And then Terrie says, well, maybe I need to make an account on here so I can see it under my name because of HIPAA. So she created an account. She got on there, and there it is. Boom. And why the insurance company didn't see what they posted, I don't know. But it said that the reason for the denial was this type of surgery is an inpatient care service, meaning you have to be in the hospital for this type of surgery. So they denied it. So we're going, well, where would you have this surgery but in a hospital? So we're looking on this thing, and I pointed up to the top. I said, why do they have office on where the procedure will take place? And it says office, which to the insurance company says, why are they're doing this as a outpatient care? Why isn't it inpatient care? So they denied it. And the only reason they denied it is because of that. So finally, she called back. She told the people about that, and they said, okay, make sure you call your doctor on Monday. So Terrie, right at 8 o'clock, she's calling them. They don't pick up the phone. She calls again 5 minutes later. They pick up the phone. She talked to them. She told them, and they said, well, we'll let the doctor know. So now we're back into the procedure of they're going to have to put it in again to the insurance company, make sure it's filled out correctly, where the surgery is going to take place at St. Francis Hospital in Muskogee, Oklahoma, and then have another surgery date. But one would think that they wouldn't set a surgery date until the insurance approved it. That's just me, a normal guy, thinking, hey, why would you have a surgery when it's not approved? So it was never approved, but they set the surgery date. So we're going to go back through the process again so Terrie can get the care that she needs. And it's absolutely ridiculous. You're right, Tamara. But that's where we're at. We didn't have this scheduled. So yesterday I put up a thumbnail, said, hey, we're going to be here. We might as well go live with Morning Talks with Mike and Paul. So that's what we're doing today. And today, guys, we're going to be talking about President Trump designating Antifa as a domestic terrorist organization.
About time.
And we're going to be going over the executive order that he signed. So I'm glad you guys are here. We did put the link to join us on panel up there. It's pinned at the top. Please join us up here, and so we can have conversation about this. And also, I did put the link for the executive order in the description. So if you want to read it, then you can do so on your own. But we will be going over that. So before we get started, let's say hello to everybody in the chat. We'll go all the way back up here. Merns Pacquiao was in here. She shared it out to everybody on her list. Gloria, good morning. Charmaine, good morning. Jolene, hello and good morning to you. Teres TV, Ilakana, hello. Yin, welcome in. Rona, good to see you, my friend. Anna G's here, or was here. Ariana, good morning to you. Gertie Sienna, Gloria Malo, Manalo, good morning to you. There's Sir Paul Honeyman. There's Miss Nay. Good morning to you. Shane Raza. Philip W. Ryder's here. Good morning, brother. Leela and Layla, good morning. There's Tamara over at headquarters with Dink and Tank. Rebecca.
She's always at headquarters.
Rebecca was on the phone with Terrie, and I sent a friend's request out to Rebecca on Facebook. And thinking that she sent me one, I didn't see where you might know these people. So I was approving people that I knew. And while I was on the phone, Terrie come in here and said, hey, did you just send Rebecca a friend's request? I said, no, I accepted hers. No, you sent her one. Then I looked up there, I said, oh. So good to be friends with you on Facebook, Rebecca. Let's see. Hey, Alfie, welcome in. And there's Ed over at Whistle Stop Homestead. Good morning, brother. Mary Yahoo! Hello, hello.
And Rabbit Shit's in here.
Kentucky Bluegrass Living. Good morning. I'm still kicking, he says. Let's see.
Brett's here. Butt nuggets.
Support from Husky Edna and the Alpha family. Ray Castillo, welcome in. Yeah, it is. Man, you pay all that money, you know. For five years, Terrie hasn't seen a doctor. So you pay in every month like clockwork, and this happens.
And a typical admin cock-up screws everything.
Exactly. And that's what they do for a living to get paid.
I know.
Hey, there's
The
Kevin.
last time any paperwork of mine got screwed up, it cost me £6,500.
Well, your heart drops when they tell you, hey, your copay is $201. I said, all right, we're good. And then they come back and says, hey, your new adjusted copay is $47,000 plus dollars. So that kind of grabs your attention. And
No, that grabs your balls.
yeah. Yeah.
Or in Terrie's case, she grabs your balls.
Yeah. There's Bodie over at Liberty Layers Hideout. Texas Raider, hey Chris, how you doing?
Don't worry, Brett, he's getting to you.
I'm getting to you, Brett.
Rabbit shit's down. Rabbit shit's further down.
Elena, hello, my friend. There's Barbara Castile.
Yes.
See you.
I accepted a friend request from a Rebecca Davis, and then when I was reading it afterwards, it wasn't our Rebecca Davis. So I deleted it.
There's Butler Family Farms. I seen them on Friday at the Homesteaders Rendezvous.
You've gone past, Brett.
You guys. There's Joe Fix It For You. Hey, there's Butt Nuggets. Hey, Brett and Deborah. Good to see you.
Now, Butt Nuggets is just Brett.
Oh, just Brett?
Yeah. That's why I can get away with calling him rabbit shit.
Oh, okay. Let's see.
It's that with both of them. I wouldn't.
Good morning from early Oregon. Oh, Oregon. Whew. My gosh. Oregon's getting a bunch of visitors here. If they haven't got there already, they're coming quick, fast, in a hurry. Help is on the way. What'd you say? I will not accept friends' requests unless they request it because I want to make sure it's them and not somebody else. Yeah, there's a lot of fake accounts. People hijacking people's names. And hey, David Glunt, good to see you, brother. Let's see.
Tamara, the only thing you watch closely is the the cup of coffee on the sideboard.
Yeah. Yeah, I did see you had a picture.
Either that or the cake she's finished.
Yeah, they do. But right now they're going to hit Portland and they're going to hit it hard. If you haven't noticed, Indiana, the governor's on board. All the Republican mayors are on board. And I think they sent 400 agents to Indiana and they've already rounded up 1,400 plus people within the first couple of days and put them on buses, put them on planes, and shipped them down to Florida, Texas, and all over to process them, to go in front of federal judges to hear their asylum case. And then they get on a plane and they go back to their country of origin, unless they're a criminal. And you might be going to one of a couple of places for long-term storage. So Paul's having some freeze up issues, I guess. Hey, there's Jolly Huggers. Welcome in. Abby G, hello, my friend. Yep. Executive orders. is for all terrorist organizations. Yeah. And there's Rainy Ridge. How are you doing? Okay, so that being said, President Trump signed an executive order last Monday designating Antifa as a domestic terrorist organization, directing federal agencies to investigate and prosecute individuals associated with the anti-fascist movement. Now, an anti-fascist movement, if you're acting like a fascist, but you're activated for anti-fascist, does that just makes you think they're crazy? Because that's like a double negative to me, that you're against this, but yet you act like it, because they're trying to, like all terrorist organizations, trying to sway you or to think like them through intimidation tactics by dressing up in combat gear, helmets, goggles, flak vests, carrying weapons and stuff like that. It doesn't, okay? I mean, that is what we're trying to stop. But yet these people, and I've seen it on YouTube and time again, these people walking up to peaceful protesters on the side of a corner or something like that, spraying them in the face with mace and stuff like that to start something. So I don't get it. I mean, they were part of all that. If you remember, Michigan, Minneapolis, Seattle, Portland, all that stuff, burning down and starting chaos, going into peaceful protest and starting stuff to get people riled up. I don't get it. Hey, good morning there, Minty Cactus. Good to see you. And so the president says enough's enough. This is a bunch of BS. You never heard of people going to jail or being prosecuted for all that rioting and stuff like that. It doesn't, I mean, who was protecting them and who's funding them? Okay. That's the key. That's who they need to find, is the people that are funding these organizations. The order characterized Antifa as a military anarchist enterprise that explicitly calls for the overthrow of the United States government, law enforcement authorities, and other systems of law. Trump cited that he described them as coordinated efforts to obstruct federal law enforcement, organize riots, and threats against political figures. This organization's effort designed to achieve policy objectives by coercion and intimidation is domestic terrorism. Bottom line. That's why he did the executive order. Now, there are some people who will say, you can't name a domestic organization of terrorists within the United States. Well, he's directed Pete Hegseth to start shipping people, soldiers, to these locations to augment the law enforcement, so the law enforcement can do their job while the military secures the perimeters. Okay? So that's what they're doing. What did you say there? Can't keep up with all the new words for the acts of being un-American. Yeah. Traitors, yeah, that's what they are. And again, how many millions of people voted for this? I know I did. Okay. I don't want to live in this new America where, the fear of going to a restaurant or going to a store and experience all this violence. That's why I served in the military, so we didn't have this at home. Okay. So push come to shove. Well, the shoving's coming back. Okay. All right. Welcome back in. Merns, glad you're here. Lacey, welcome in. Glad to see you. So it's just, I just don't understand the prior 4 years, how this could be acceptable behavior and do nothing about it. Okay. Unless that was your goal all along. Okay. To put fear into the right, but yet they attacked Democratic cities or Democratic led cities. They didn't come down and try to burn down Oklahoma City, because they would have had a fight on their hands probably. You didn't see that. You only seen it in those vulnerable Democratic cities that's led by Democrats. And that didn't make no sense to me at all. Okay. But for a lot of people, it was a chance to get stuff. Okay. While everybody's watching over here, we'll break the windows and steal the Jordans and steal the clothes and the purses and the jewelry and all that stuff. Oh, by the way, to cover our footprints, we'll just burn it down afterwards. So, and I will tell you that a lot of the people that caused the turmoil were not even from that city. They were trucked in, or they came there. We seen that in Missouri when we were living there up in Ferguson and stuff like that. Most of those people weren't there burning down stores and stuff like that lived there. It was people that were brought in. Okay. And that's the sad part. And this was, to me, supported by the administration because they did nothing about it. Okay. Hey, James Hall, welcome in. Yeah, busted. Paid, meaning that one guy was handing out flyers. Somebody was interviewing him, and they said, "Oh, you're doing this free?" He goes, "No, I make $25 an hour." I guess he has to turn a time card in, I guess. I don't know. But people are getting paid for this. And that's who they need to get their claws into and put them in jail. Okay, because that's just being a traitor. Okay, causing all this chaos. All right, so the executive order. It was signed on the 22nd of September by President Trump. So what does the executive order actually say? Section 1, Antifa as a terrorist threat. Antifa is a militant anarchist enterprise that explicitly calls for the overthrow of the United States government, law enforcement authorities, and other systems of law. It uses terrorism nationwide to accomplish its goal. This campaign involves coordinated efforts to obstruct law enforcement of federal law through armed standoffs with law enforcement organizations and organized riots, violent assault on immigration and custom enforcement and other law enforcement officers, and routine doxing of the other threats against political figures and activists. Antifa recruits, trains, and radicalizes young Americans to engage in the violence and suppression of political activity, then employs elaborate means and mechanisms to shield and identify those operatives, conceals its funding sources and operations in an effort to frustrate law enforcement and recruit additional members. Individuals associated with acting on behalf of Antifa further coordinates with other organizations and entities for the purpose of spreading fomenting and advancing political violence and suppressing lawful political speech. This organization's effort designed to achieve policy objectives by coercion and intimidation is classified now as domestic terrorism. Okay? So that's the base for it. Okay? So if you've been watching the news, if you've been doing some reading, if you've been watching videos and stuff like that, are they unarmed? No, they're not. Okay. If you've been watching and paying attention, you see them out on the streets and they're carrying ARs. Okay. And pistols and stuff like that. Smoke bombs, tear gas bombs. They're doing all kinds of crap. I mean, look, if you remember when they took over the police station and all that stuff in Seattle, oh my gosh, there were people killed. Okay. And then they boarded off the streets and all that stuff. And it took them forever to break that up because, again, mayors and councilmen and politicians and all that stuff would not support taking them out, meaning going in there and breaking all that crap up. Let's see.
Minty Cactus has just joined us.
I'm glad he signed it too. Hey, Ed Kirkpatrick's, welcome in. Howdy, folks, eating breakfast and listening. All right. And I seen that Minty Cactus is a brand new member. MT Homestead, welcome in. I'm glad you're here. What police have not been called Bobbies since Starsky and Hutch? Or on TV?
We're on TV back in the 70s.
So they're not called Bobbies?
No, mostly these days they're called pigs.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well, that's what we did back in the 60s.
We've been calling them pigs since the 80s.
Oh, wow. But what is their official, they call the police officers there? Constables?
Police officer.
Just police officer?
Yeah.
Okay.
He or she is a police officer.
Yeah.
Well, we can't go around calling them boars and sows now.
No. Boars and sows?
Although there are a few I wouldn't mind seeing on a spit.
Yeah. So, for me personally, I think this is long overdue. I think those politicians, council people, lawyers, courts that are what seems to be in a protection mode for these people, I think that they want them to be there. I think they want to continue the divide within America. I mean, I can't understand how a politician at any level could say, hey, I'm going to side with them because this is better than keeping our people safe. And if you're a voter, okay, and you say, hey, this is perfectly normal, you know, there's nothing to see here. I I just don't understand it. It's like the people in Chicago. Now the black community in Chicago are wearing red shirts. Okay, that says red right here. And then it says something about moving from Democrat to red or something like that. They're wearing that in the town council meetings and stuff like that. They're pissed.
Do you know what it should say? Red should say Republicans educating Democrats.
Yeah. Yeah. Only a few of us remember that. Yep. What did Paul have to say? Mainly unarmed except pepper spray, but they do have armed response units and are well trained. Yeah. I don't know. I seen them with weapons in their hands.
I'm talking. No, this is about the British police officers.
Oh, that's about the British. Okay.
I wish all our bloody well officers were armed.
You mean police officers can't carry firearms in?
Not unless they're in the armed response unit.
Like in the SWATs and stuff like that?
Basically, yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow. But they do carry, I know they carry tasers.
No.
I thought I
not
seen
all
them.
Of, not all of them carry tasers.
Really?
Yeah.
So they just want them to get their butts kicked.
In the last 10 years, there's been, I think, roughly 160 police officers that got killed with stabbings.
Oh, really?
Because the only thing they've got, they do have a stab-proof vest.
Yeah.
But they've got pepper spray.
Yeah. Oh, yay.
Pepper spray and a baton.
Yeah. Wow.
So apart from that, they try to keep them in pairs.
Yeah. Well, if that's the case, then they must have some good hand-to-hand training, some kind of skill training and stuff like that to subdue perpetrators.
What the heck? Basic Taekwondo.
Okay.
And that's it. They've got those extending sticks now. They took the buttons off them.
Yeah, me too. God and country. They hit them with their purses.
Have you felt their purses?
No, I think they carry some kind of I know the German police because I worked with them for many a year, is they have these, they're about yay long, and they keep them in their utility belt. And they'll pull it out, and it is leather. It's got a spring inside of it, and then it's got a stainless steel ball covered in leather on the end. And I'm going to tell you something, bam, and it just goes brrr.
That is about the size of what they've got.
Yeah.
Before they flick it.
Yeah.
And it extends to about 2 feet.
Yeah. And those hurt. Yeah. And that right there is, and I've said this many a time, you fled the country that so-called was oppressing you, and where you were living in poverty and there was no support. And then you come up here saying, oh, I'm fleeing persecution, but then you fly your country flag that you ran from? Or is it Americans that are flying those flags? Now, if you're an American flying those flags, you deserve to be cuffed and stuffed. And as part of the protest, Americans carrying another country's flag in protest and then burning the flag of the country in which you live in, that's why he signed that 10-year prison sentence for burning the American flag, if you remember that executive order. Now, if a Republican comes back in, he'll probably do exactly like Biden did and get rid of all the executive orders because he has the power to do it. And then we're right back to where we started again. And then people will get sick of that for 4 years or whatever. And then somebody else will come in and we'll start all over. It's just a vicious circle. Congress needs to put some of this stuff into law. Okay? They need to put it into law. And what is that going to take? Well, right now you can get it through the House, but you can't get it through the Senate because they have a 60 rule. All right? And unless you have 60 people on your side in your party in the Senate getting something through without groveling and fighting and stuff like that, it's not going to get done. Okay? It isn't. For example, the CR. Congress said, hey, let's sign a temporary clean CR, okay, to get us into November so we can work this whole thing out so we don't shut down the government. Okay. Oh, by the way, it is the 29th. So in a couple of days, the federal government shuts down unless they pass it. And it passed through the House. It went up to the Senate, and then the Senate, Chuck Schumer and them, started throwing all kinds of stuff into this thing. Number one, they wanted millions upon billions of dollars to take care of illegal migrants and continue this nightmare of free medical care and housing and all this other stuff. They want to throw that in there into this CR, but make that permanent for the entire year and a whole bunch of other crap. Well, the House is saying, no, we're not going to do this. So, and then of course the Democrats said, oh, because they won't agree to what we want, and adding these $1 trillion onto this temporary CR, the Republicans are shutting down the government. And then the Republicans saying, hey, all we want to do is have time to work this out. Give us some more time, I guess 45 days, to work all this stuff out, to get it done. And we don't have to shut down the government, because every CR, when the Democrats were in office, every one of them, all the temporary ones were passed in both houses. Okay. But now it's an issue. Okay. Signing a clean temporary CR is an issue now. But they pork bellied the shit out of it. And that's not acceptable, guys. It isn't acceptable. Okay. So you vote, and if you're voting for more of the same stuff, then something's wrong. Okay. Trump has delivered on just about everything he said he would. Okay. And now, and it's been a fight for the last 8 months, 9 months now. It has been a fight for every movement. Hey, Paul.
If I go out once more, I'm not going to bother coming back.
I seen him this weekend. How are you doing?
Who's that?
In fact, I seen Gardening with Leon. I seen Leon at the Homesteaders Expo, Homesteaders Rendezvous. I seen him there. Good to see him. I haven't seen him in a long time. Most of the Palestinian flags have been flown by American citizens in support of Palestine. Yeah. Well, and you just heard what Israel did to Lebanon, right? They found out where the Hezbollah leader was, and they dropped a whole 500-pound can of whoop ass on him. So, yeah, expect to see that. And then I think Iran bombed Qatar over in Qatar. They bombed that place. So look for more people's feelings getting hurt sometime soon. Trump's first term, he makes it so diabetics would pay more than $35 for insulin. Biden came in and canceled it, then brought it back as his idea. Yeah, I remember that. We already have money in place for, okay. Now President Trump needs to reduce government under the shutdown. Yeah. Hey, I was a government employee for 45 years in the military and as a civilian, and we had to live through the threat of shutdowns. And you always had to have a nest egg because these little asinine children can't get along and do what's best for America. Yeah. All right there, Philip. So let's move on to section 2, designation as a domestic terrorist organization because of the aforementioned pattern of political violence designed to suppress lawful political activity and obstruct the rule of law. I hereby designate ANTIFA as a domestic terrorist organization. All relevant executive departments and agencies shall utilize all applicable authorities to investigate, disrupt, and dismantle any and all illegal operations, especially those involving terrorist actions, conducted by ANTIFA or any person claiming to act on behalf of ANTIFA or for which ANTIFA or any persons claiming to act on behalf of ANTIFA provide material support, including necessary investigatory and prosecutorial actions against those who fund such operations. So now he's just took the handcuffs off the DOJ to find those persons, and we know who some of them are. You just got to follow the money, okay? You got to follow the money, and then those people need to be prosecuted to the fullest extent of the law. They need to be incarcerated, and I don't mean in one of these rich dudes' jails. I mean send their ass to Supermax in Colorado, okay, and lock them up. So the Supermax, you don't get to see the light of day. And you go to the Supermax in Colorado, you drive by it when you're going to Canyon City, and all you see is a big fenced area. And then there's a reception building on top, and it all goes down. You can't escape from a hole in the ground, right? That's Supermax. That's where Jared is. You know, our friend Jared from the Subway sandwich shop, he's in the Supermax in Colorado. So, yeah. If you do the crime, got to do the time. What show was that? I remember a show. if you can't do the time, don't do the crime. I can't remember what movie show that was. Hey, says Antifa. I'm anti-fascist, but I'm certainly not here. Well, no, you can be against it, and you can protest against it all you want. But as soon as you do what they're doing, you're throwing in intimidation, violence, and things like that to get other people to side with you. That's when you're wrong. You can speak all you want, and I'm all for that. But who's to say who's a fascist? Because you think, I'm not talking about you, Carrie, but you think someone's a fascist doesn't make them a fascist. Okay? If you're anti-fascist and you have fascist tendencies to get your anti-fascist agenda across, then there's a problem. Okay? When you hurt other people because they're not listening to you or they don't think like you, that's when you need to be cuffed and stuffed and taken off to Guantanamo Bay, if you ask me. Now, if you catch these people, because not everybody walks around in black battle gear, okay? Although it is slimming, okay? Black is a very slimming color. But if you're walking around with flak vest and SWAT clothes on and riot helmets and face shields and you've got an AR hanging from your whatever. Now, I don't know if they're real. I don't know if they're they can't be paintball because it doesn't look like that. Or you show up at one of these detention facilities and you're returning fire with a paintball gun. You're lucky that they're using paintball guns on you. Okay? Now, some of them are pepper balls, and some of them are called reballs. Okay? And what is a reball? It is a rubber ball that's shot through a paintball gun, and it hurts like hell when it impacts. Because if you play paintball, because I ran a paintball operation when I was in the military for outdoor recreation, and you can't exceed 300 PSI. It can go up much higher, but 300 PSI, and it will still put a welt on you, and it looks like you got ringworm after we get hit by a paintball. Now, a reball is solid, and if you got hit in the face like that one lady in that one video, dude, it will mess you up. But they call it non-lethal because it won't kill you, but it will put a hurting on you. But no, you can be against it. I'm against that. I mean, that's one of the reasons we had World War II to stop all that stuff. But when you take matters in your own hand and you hurt other people, then we got a problem. We got a serious problem. Oh, Beretta. That's right. That's right. Beretta. See, Lacey, I have the ideas and you have the answers, and that's good. I don't know what happened to Paul today. His internet is wonky. If you put paintballs and you freeze them, that's what it feels like if you get hit with a frozen paintball. Yeah. I used to have Marines come to mind, and they would play with their shirts off, and they'd walk out of there like they got the measles or something. Yeah. They are nuts. But you got to love a Marine. Oh, and by the way, wasn't that thing in North Carolina, that guy from the ship that fired up that shore bar, he was a vet. He was identified as a combat veteran. and then the guy up in Michigan that attacked that LDS Church of Latter-day Saints Church, he was identified as a combat veteran also. But if you read deeper in there about family issues and stuff like that, but doesn't give anybody the right to do something like that. That was horrifying because although I'm Catholic, all my sisters, I got 6 sisters, and I have my mom, they all converted to the Mormon church, and all my sisters married Mormon men down in Mesa, Arizona. So I was the only holdout, I guess. They forced me to go. I was in the Mormon Scouts and stuff like that, and played sports with them and all that kind of stuff. But my free choice was Catholic. But anyway, I don't care what religion it is. House of worship should never be attacked. Remember the Catholic school that got shot up? Unlike that one where that person took their own life, they caught both of these guys. So somebody's going to Supermax because those are terrorist activities. Let's see. Yeah, Beretta was a good show. The good old days. Yeah. That we watched Beretta, we watched Columbo, and I watch it on what is it called? Tubi? Yeah. Tubi TV. You can watch all that, and it's free app on Apple TV. All right, so let's go to provision number 3, the final provision. This order, the general provisions, A, this order shall be implemented consistent with applicable law. This order is not intended to and does not create any rights or benefits, substantive or prejudicial, sorry, it's a big word for me, enforcement of law or equity by any party against the United States. Its the United States, its departments, agency, or entities, its officers, employees, or agents, or any person or persons. This order shall be published by the Federal Registrar and is not given a EO executive order number. Signed, Donald J. Trump, the White House, September 22nd, 2025. So that was it in its entirety. So what we take from this is what it says was, if you look like Antifa, you act like Antifa, you support Antifa in any kind of violence or anything like that, or you fund Antifa, they will track you down, okay, and you will be arrested, okay? Bottom line. So if you're not giving away your hard-earned money to support them on their GoFundMes and all this other stuff, you're good to go. If you don't stand out on the street next to them and spray pepper spray or do harm to somebody else, you're good to go. If you're not wearing the uniform, full battle rattle, black this, black that, and you're showing some kind of force or intended violence, you got nothing to worry about. If you pay your taxes and you want this stuff to go away, then you better start listening, okay? I mean, you had Charlie Kirk's thing. You had 100,000 people outside, inside, the hockey arena, all that in Glendale, Arizona. Nobody burned down nothing. Nobody harmed anybody. Okay. I don't understand why the left has to resort to violence to get their point across, because I was always told if you get angry or you have to yell and scream to get your point across, you've lost. Okay? Then your way isn't the right way. This is not what the majority of Americans signed up for. What the majority of Americans signed up for is to live in peace, harmony, and live the American dream. That's what we signed up for. We didn't sign up for 21 million people to come into the United States. And oh, by the way, take care of them before you take care of your own people. Fly to foreign countries to support illegal migration and criminals and people with deportation orders instead of your own people. We didn't sign up for, okay, you are the majority, but we take care of these people first before we take care of you, the tax-paying citizens of these cities. I am pissed. I don't have to worry about that in Oklahoma. Okay. Don't have to worry about that. Hey, we got these guys over here. Come get them. Get them, cuff them, stuff them. They're gone. Okay. You don't see protests like that. I mean, you might. I mean, there's probably small protests in Tulsa and Oklahoma City and stuff like that. But in rural America, we just want to be left alone. Don't bring your shit to us in a small town. Because you know what happens in a small town, guys. It doesn't go good for you. Yeah. And like I watched this one guy. He's running. He was the House Speaker. He's running for governor of Oklahoma. He pushed the sports thing, no boys and biological boys and women's sports. We've already passed that. Everybody had a big old heartache about it, but we passed that. And America First, Oklahoma First agenda. And that's the way it should be. It should be that same way in Missouri. It should be that same way in Kansas. It should be that same way in Minnesota. Okay? America first and your state first. That's who your politicians should be supporting, is you. Okay? Indiana, you are doing a great job. Okay? You're doing a fantastic job. Let's see. People in Oklahoma, for the most part, are not out wreaking havoc. Yeah, you're right. We still believe in communications with words. Our senators and the OKC mayor have been top tier respecting Oklahoma citizens. Yeah. It's a big city. I mean, it's not Chicago big, okay? But if you look at the entire metropolitan area, okay, and for Oklahoma as a whole, where all 89 counties, all 89, and we have 89, went red in November because, hey, we're sick of this stuff. There's no other state where every county went red, okay? So don't California my Oklahoma, okay? And somebody needs to start printing shirts like that. I know Arizona has them. Don't California my Arizona. I've seen those. So be proud of the state you live in. Support, peaceful living. I'm all for that. Don't shit in my backyard and track it to the house. I agree. Yeah. Sandy, I'm sorry. that it's not like that there, but help's on its way. The mayor, the governor, all those people, they're following suit of Illinois, but it doesn't do no good. You can talk all you want, but you can't stop the enforcement of federal law. Okay. Yeah, you can hide them. They'll find them. You'll be put in jail like those judges did, and hospital workers, harboring fugitives, restaurant owners. What was that one where they raided Home Depot? Yeah. Now Home Depot, that store was wearing, I stay out or whatever shirts they were wearing. That stuff isn't going to work. Okay. There's a new sheriff in town and he's looking out for you and me. All right. Yeah. School superintendent arrested for yes. Wasn't that in Iowa? That's Des Moines, Iowa. The school superintendent was illegal alien. He overstayed his student visa. They found out that he had prior gun charges and all kinds of stuff.
Didn't come up on the background check.
But for some reason, when the school board did his background check, they didn't find all that stuff. Guess what? Now he's in a detention facility. You're gone. Okay? Don't overstay your student visa. Go back home. You got educated so you can go back and help your own people. But once they get here, they go, man, I don't want to leave here and go back to that shithole. Sorry. Yeah, and then I seen that mom. There was two incidences, and there was one where an older gentleman, these three kids were beating down his front door. They all had guns. They were all under the age of 19, I guess. And they busted into this guy's house to rob him, and he took all three of them out. I think one died there on scene, and the other two died at the hospital on the way. And then there was a lady, something happened. They busted into hers, and same thing happened there. So now I'm watching the news where the parents, they're furious because the guy, stand your ground law. They have video because he has, where he lives, he has security cameras, and it shows them. You can't say that wasn't my kid doing it because he's laying there, and you just got to take his mask off. And then the other two died at the hospital. So the parents are pissed. I would be pissed that my kid got shot. I would be pissed that my kid was breaking and entering to rob somebody. But don't blame the guy for standing his ground. Okay? I mean, don't do it here in Oklahoma, because stand my ground is my entire property. Okay? Not inside my house, my entire property. Okay? So don't come here and try to steal my tractor. Just say it. Yeah, that was in Iowa. Somebody has to look over their processes for background checks in the Ames, Iowa school district. You too. Love you, girl. Yep, 100%. Because I'm going to tell you something. You go to other countries, Well, not no more. I mean, Europe's so freaking woke. You can just come there and take all the tax money you want and do whatever you want, and nothing happens to you. But if you're a citizen, boy, howdy, you better watch your P's and Q's there. Yeah. Castle doctrine. Yep, absolutely right. Yeah. Time for accountability. You're absolutely right. You too, Debbie Drop. Hope you have a great day. A great week. Telling Terry, have a great day. Meet Pepe Le Pew Pew. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. See, and the good thing is in most countries you have to go through every country go through customs when you come in. But some countries are pretty specific. When I go on vacation, when we were in Korea, and we'd fly back in, not only did I have to show my government, my passport, I had to show my government ID and have a copy of my orders assigning me to Korea. Because to go into Korea, you better have a damn good reason. And they'll track you. Okay. If you're not out by the time, because when you go in, they scan. When you go out, they scan. And the only way out of that country is by plane or by ship or whatever. And if you're not, they've already got facial recognition. They turn it on to every camera within that country. And guys, you can't make a move without you being on camera. If you have private cameras, they have to have access to them on the outside of your buildings. And they will find you. If you come out, they will find you. All right. And they will kick you out of the country. But you'll serve time in jail for violating their customs regulations or their sovereignty laws and stuff like that. In my Georgia town, the Walmart CSM and door greeters are wearing body cams now. Yeah. Walmart's taking a hit on these smash and grabs, you know. And then people, you watch these videos and they're going, what are you talking about? You can't touch me, blah, blah, blah. And I'm going to tell you something. You're on private property. Yeah, I'm thinking there needs to be a law where Walmart can protect their own. Yeah, I am too. I absolutely am too. Oh, yeah. Go to Italy. Go to Rome. You'll see them. They have cars. And that's what they're trying to do with the National Guard. You see, and when we went to Rome, every city block, there is 2 or 3 military guys there with full battle rattle, machine guns, all kinds of stuff, dogs, and that deters you from doing stupid things. Okay, that will deter you from doing stupid things. It's sad that we have to do that in America, but hey, it's the way it goes. Go to any foreign airport, they're walking around with dogs and guns. Went to Thailand, thick as ticks in there. Okay, dogs everywhere, police everywhere. Oh, I'm thinking Sergeant Major. That's the initials for a Sergeant Major. Customer service managers. Okay. Yep. And one of the biggest mistakes Europe ever did was get rid of their borders. I mean, they know where it is on the map, but I remember every road going in and out of Germany had a Zoll, which is customs station. Okay. And on one side, if you're going into Austria, the Austrians were on one side going into Austria, and the Germans were on the other side. They would check everybody in that car. Okay. See if you're authorized to be in their country. When they got rid of all that, hell in a handbasket, guys. Once you give up your sovereignty to that, where people can just flood into your country and you have no idea who's in there, that's when shit happens. Yeah, I'm pretty sure. And to capture the incident when it happens, probably, as far as evidence. By no means are we out of the woods yet. We must vote in American first candidates. We're losing our country and still could if we don't watch. Watchmen up. It's up to every generation. You're absolutely correct. Prevention laws, yeah. Yeah, and you know, there's such thing as upholding the Constitution, but uphold the word for word of the Constitution and not your interpretation of it. It's kind of like the Bible. People, instead of reading or preaching word for word out of the Bible, they inflate it. They teach their interpretation of it. That's just the way it should be. So, guys, it is 9:43. That is the executive order. I know that Trump has already sent people into Memphis, sent people into Chicago, sent people into Indiana, sent people into Oregon now, sent people into California. So if you're a governor and you're watching this, or you're a mayor and you're watching this, get ready. Get ready. Hey, guys, please share this out. If you've got a channel, please share it out so other people can join us. I really enjoy the morning talks. Again, Terrie, our insurance company, denied Terrie's surgery at the 11th hour. In fact, her doctor never got the approval, but they set the surgery date for today. But we found out on Friday that they had denied it, and they had denied it because of clerical issues, meaning that whoever filled out the request for payment for the procedure for her didn't put the right location. They put the word office under location where surgery will take place. They put office instead of St. Francis Health Center. in Muskogee, Oklahoma. So the insurance company read that as an outpatient care when the procedure is an inpatient procedure because of the severity of actually doing it. You can't do it in a doctor's office. So they denied it. And right now we're fighting with them to get it approved. The doctor's office has to resubmit, and then once it's approved, then we'll set the surgery date. So anyway, guys, I'm glad you guys came along. Good morning, Johnny at Gillum Farms. Did I miss Johnny? Huh. Why don't I see Johnny? So he said good morning to Johnny. Hey, Johnny. Oh, there he is. That's fine, brother. You be safe out there with them moo cows. Okay. And I apologize. I really wanted to go up to the races, but we had all this medical stuff going on and so many trips up there to do all kinds of stuff. That hour and 45 minutes to Muskogee 3 times a week was getting crazy. But we'll catch one day. Yep. Wishing everybody a great week. We will see you on Friday, 8:30 in the morning, and we'll talk about something else, whatever's going on. And also remember tomorrow, we will have Sergeant's Talk TV, 8 p.m. Right here, Central Standard Time. And we're going to be talking about, do you have what it takes to join the Coast Guards? Guys, I didn't know how restrictive it was to get into the Coast Guard till I started doing research. So we're going to be talking about that. We'll also be talking about $220 million worth of cocaine captured over there in the Pacific Ocean by our Coast Guard. And they're doing a good job. Oh, and by the way, that boat doesn't exist no more that they got it from. So there you go. Anyway, that's what we're going to be talking about. And on Wednesday, hanging at the Homestead, Terry and I will be here. So please join us at that time. We absolutely, hi, Big Mike. I've been listening a while. Driving. Oh, Annie Ann. Good to see you. Always good to see you. My little Smurfette. Yep. Everybody have a blessed week. And we will see you on Friday. All right, guys. Remember, be kind to one another. Help somebody in need. And always think of that. Guys, please pray for our leaders and for our law enforcement out there just doing their job. Okay? I love you guys. Until next time, we'll see you on the next video. Bye, guys.